theoretically, there is a belief, I believe, and our minister Scott will correct me, I'm sure, if I am inaccurate in saying this, in the Christian faiths, and there are differences in each branch of Christianity, but I think there's a baseline belief that there's a judgment day and that we all are saints and sinners. Well, we may not all be saints, but we are all sinners. And so in the
that is a definitely inadvertent conversation. I do think, though, that it's essential to make the distinction between the office and the man. That's really the main point that I'm trying to get across.
Right. But I'm just saying, supposedly the whole idea is if you are a person of faith, you take all of this into consideration in your daily decision making. At least it's in the back of your mind. And you wonder, I think, what's going to happen in the afterlife to you based on your conduct in the life. And so theoretically, we shouldn't need these laws, right? Theoretically, people should know what is right and what is wrong, what is ethical and what is unethical. We shouldn't need laws regulating these kinds of things. But unfortunately, we do. And in this case, apparently, if the perception is the reality, there are no laws that hold this particular individual, by virtue of his position, accountable. And that raises yet another question, Daniel, and that is the President of the United States is supposed to be the top public servant. We don't have a top-down monarchy in the United States. We have a bottom-up republic. Why would a president, any president, be indemnified from the laws and the ethics that Daniel and Gary must abide? Isn't there something fundamentally wrong with the way the system has evolved, Daniel?
Agreed. And, the biggest pollution is inside the Supreme Court. I mean, it's a massive problem because it's a 30-year project like it was on the other side to even hope to turn that around. I remember when the thing came down and I said to one of my friends on the right on Clubhouse here, I'm pretty centrist, but I said, you understand you're giving the keys to the next left side of the aisle president to come in and be lawless too. It's about the office, not about the man.
Right, and that's an excellent point, and it's one that Marshall has hammered away at all of us whenever he has the opportunity. And that is the norms change. And what's not acceptable yesterday is acceptable today, whether we like it or not, and therefore will be acceptable tomorrow. And
not to go on too long here, I have other people to talk to, but I just want to know if you saw the tweet from inside the White House celebrating President Nixon and how he was railroaded by the deep state. It came from an official inside the White House. Did you see that?
No. But see, what these folks do, as we all know, I'm stating the obvious here, they say and do things in the prism of how will the president respond to what I'm doing? I mean, look at the folks he's appointed to office. The various people who are in important positions who came from public speaking careers in which they were blindly defensive of the president in all cases. That's who he surrounds himself with. And so it's important, I think, if you want to survive in this administration, to show adulation and make public comments that the president can retweet, on Truth Social. Because where did that come from? Was there something that occurred that caused somebody to respond and put out that tweet? Or did they just come up with it out of the ethernet and put it out there in the hopes that the president saw it? I suspect it's the latter. I could be wrong. Somebody will come to the stage and tell me that they were responding to something that I missed. It's very possible. Thank you, Daniel. We'll go to William, followed by Andrew.
Hey, everybody. I'd forgotten about this, but I just looked it up while I was waiting. There are two different emoluments clauses. One is the foreign emoluments clause, the other is the domestic emoluments clause, and I had forgotten about the domestic emoluments clause and would have to research it better to understand it better. But the foreign emoluments clause is in Article 1, and it just covers everybody or any person holding an office of profit and trust under the United States, including the president and federal employees. Nobody can take advantage of their federal employment and take gifts from originally foreign monarchs and put themselves in a position to be corrupted. So it is included in the Constitution from the get-go. The domestic emoluments clause I'd forgotten about, and I would have to look into that more. But the most clear example of this foreign emoluments clause violation is the bribe jet from Qatar. I mean, it's a gift. It's supposed to be, most presidents would have gotten a gift and maybe turned it over to the Treasury. They wouldn't have personally kept anything. If they got a gift, maybe if they got a key fob, they could keep it. But if they got anything worth over a few $100s, at least, it was just turned over to the Treasury and became the property of the American people.
He plans on keeping it when he leaves office, I think, right?
He certainly does.
So Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8 of the foreign emoluments clauses to which I think you are referring.
Correct.
It bars any person holding an office of profit or trust, accepting gifts, payments, or titles from foreign states without congressional consent. Now, here's the problem, though, William. While the president is not legally indemnified or exempt, if you want to use that word, from the emoluments clauses, how do you enforce it?
Well, that's a very good question, because how do you enforce it when you have Todd Blanche as the Attorney General, when you have a Supreme Court that bends over backwards to give Trump any favor that he wants? Maybe it can't be enforced now. Maybe it can't be enforced ever. I don't know. And then the other thing was
bend over backwards. I mean, they've stuck to him several times. The tariffs being the most prominent.
Right. But do you get my point about my intent of what I was trying to say is that
Yes,
no other president
I get the point.
has been given the carte blanche of getting a permission in advance to being above the law. And that leads into the second point, which is the securities, the insider trading and securities. And I don't know that the pardons, the pardon in advance, the waiver, whatever you want to call it, that the Supreme Court handed out in Trump versus the United States. I don't know if it will cover this, because to the extent that it's a civil violation of law versus a criminal violation, that may make a difference. But Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC rules are really pretty clear about insider well, they're not that clear. It actually becomes a complicated thing. But if you're blatantly trading on information and actually essentially selling tickets to be the first in line to get access to the president's tweets, which are policy in the Trump presidency, so that you can make your insider trade. So based on insider knowledge, you can make your trades along with the president, along with Barron, or along with the rest of the crew, then that's a pretty flagrant sale of the what should be something that is not traded upon because of the SEC rules and the rules against insider trading. It seems like, a flagrant attempt to hand out favors to people that give Trump money.
No, it amazes me how people create these things.
You gotta hold off there, are you, in this room? It's one at a time. But I'll get to you. Don't
I
worry.
made my point.
Thank you, William. We'll go to Andrew, followed by Rambo.
Good afternoon, Gary. I was a member of a committee here where I live, accessibility committee. And in fact, I was co-chair at one point for a few years. And one of the things that you had to declare on this committee, which is at the city level, was that you had to declare any pecuniary interests you might have had in any of the issues that came before the committee. And if you had a pecuniary interest, you had to rescind your ability to vote, recuse yourself from voting on that matter.
They're
that's
not a abilities committee, just an abilities committee. It's kind of far down in the pecking order as compared to a president or a prime minister.
Absolutely. It's, a volunteer position, first off. It was an accessibility committee. We were basically consulting with the various departments and other interested parties that did business with the city in regards to their accessibility plans, et cetera. But even at that level, I was commenting to a government official in regards to their website that it wasn't accessible, and how did they approach that? And he didn't really have an answer. And I said, well, you need somebody to test it. Now, I hesitated even mentioning myself, but eventually they asked me to do an accessibility audit, which I did do for monetary gain, but I didn't vote on anything in relation to that. But so you're in these positions of trust. And I think that's the key word here, is trust. And it's obvious to anyone, I think, who's really honest about things, that this man has breached the trust of the American people by enriching himself in the fashion that he has. And I think when you look at some of the viewpoints of people outside of the United States looking in, this is where some of their anger comes from, is that this man is able to get away with these things so blatantly and really without any seemingly forceful repercussion or outcry. There might be a bit of an outcry here in this room that you're holding, Gary, but I don't see it in the United States as a whole. People excuse
Well,
this
it's
stuff.
interesting that the article which prompted today's discussion, from which I quoted at the beginning, was an article published by The Guardian, and the article that makes comparisons of the largesse accumulated by previous presidents to that of Donald Trump was an Australian news site. That's kind of almost telling about what's going on with our news media here in the United States, which the president claims has been too harsh on him, but it may be not questioning enough in reality.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that is telling. And it's really discouraging for the rest of the world to watch this man behave the way that he does. In terms of ethics, I don't think he has many. And I think that's been obvious just if you look at his life and his career prior to the presidency. He's not a great candidate for that position of trust. And I think that's the key word here, trust, and he's abused that trust. Thanks, Terry.
Thank you, Andrew. We'll go to Rambo, followed by.
Hey guys, pardon me, I'm traveling. Thank you for allowing me to say some words. I think, to the topic, probably
Are you still there?
we could, yeah. So I'll say this. We can go down the legal rabbit hole, the ethical rabbit hole. The simple question is, has he demonstrated no?
Rambo, unfortunately, you're in and out because as you're traveling, I think.
I gotta come back in. I'll come back.
All right, man. Daryl, and then hopefully we'll get back to Rambo. Daryl.
Hey Gary, I was up earlier, but irregardless, I'm back up.
Irregardless.
I guess the last thing I would say is that if you look at the totality of the situation, look at the totality of the actions with regards to the questions that you're asking. I don't understand how anyone can say that, this is, ethics vary, right? But we actually do have certain laws, to William's point about the emoluments clause. The only thing is the laws are only valuable if there's someone willing to enforce them. I would argue that Congress has pretty much abdicated to him. We now have an attorney general that's never going to prosecute him. So it's a matter of, I'm just going to do all these things in your face and there's nothing you can do about it. I had said earlier, Carolyn Levitt resigned. And one of the things that she's always talked about, she would say that we are the most transparent administration in history. And if you look at it, right, all of these things that are being done right in front of yours and mine and everybody else's faces. So yeah, they are being transparent. They're being transparent that we are crooked. We are self-dealing. We only have our own interest in mind. And we're doing it right in front of everybody, so we're transparent about what our motives are. So she's right. They're transparent.
Well, I remember a story that I did once at the old Federal Department stores in Detroit, that these two guys decided they were going to steal a canoe from their outdoor section. And they just grabbed the canoe and they were walking out with the canoe, and they come to the door, and the security guard, let me hold the door open for you, and held the door open because nobody stealing a canoe would do it so openly and blatantly and brazenly, but they did. I don't think that guard was gainfully employed at that location much longer after that. Folks, we're here Monday through Friday from 5 o'clock New York time. So till 5 o'clock New York time tomorrow, for the next edition of the Critical Thinking Forum, everybody be safe, be well.
This is perfect because the boys just gave their account. Shout out to Patty for playing that. Gemini, I know you came in late.
Shout out to Whitney J. I need y'all to give her $2.65.
Oh yeah, shout out to the
$3 is $3. Figure it out.
Y'all ready?
Tell her to hit me up.
Patty, get her link. Get to how do we give money? Let us know.
Because football was starting, the summer training was starting, and this was his second year at Southwest, and so we knew this was going to be a big
It's a candle, coffee in a jet blue cup. Bible on the table, old Coltrane turned up just enough. He's tracing little questions in the steam above the rim. How can love stay gentle in a world that cuts at him? So in the mind of God, heart in these trembling hands, try to walk like mercy across this aching land. If every breath is borrowed, teach me to spend it sweet. Turn my pride to charity, lay my anger at your feet. Down on the corner, laughing with the kids at play. Coins inside his pocket, but he gives his time away. He's talking about kindness like it's air we're meant to share. Every name he's saying feels like one long quiet prayer. Soul in the mind of God, heart in these trembling hands, try to walk like mercy across this aching land. If every breath is borrowed, teach me to spend it sweet. Turn my pride to charity, lay my anger at your feet. Is peace just a word we say, or a road we choose and pay? Can a tired, cracked hearted man still learn to be brave? I don't know each answer, but I know this simple thing: where love and wisdom meet us, heaven starts to sing. Soul in the mind of God, heart in these trembling hands, try to walk like mercy across this aching land. If every breath is borrowed, teach me to spend it sweet, till every step is charity, and every thought is peace. the deepest breath of the day. Feel the weight start to slip away. Count it slow, now 1, 2, 3. Let it rise like a tidal sea. Hold, 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 let it go, go. Feel it flow, flow, flow. Take the deepest breath of the day. 10, 9, 11, 10, 9, 9. Hold it close, let it align. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold, hold, let it go, 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 go. Feel the rush as the seconds fall. Heartbeat echoes down the hall. Inhale stars, exhale night. Wrap yourself in electric light. Hold, 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 let it go, go. Feel it glow, glow, glow. Take the deepest breath of the day. 10, 9, 11, 10, 9, 9. Hold it close, let it align. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold, hold, let it go, 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 go.
Take the deepest breath of the day. Right now. Right here. This one is different. Drag the air in, like you're pulling in the sea. Slow, slower, stop. For 4 seconds. 4. Not 5. 4. Not 3. Freeze the world! In your chest, like a film frame, turned into the light. Not 5! 4. Not 3! Time kneels down inside your teeth. 4. Not 5! Say it with me. You're holding the clock and it's begging to breathe. Your shoulders forget their names. 2, your tongue turns to velvet. 3, thoughts fall off their chairs. 4, the gears all grind to stillness. You are the room. You are the air. You are the hand on the hidden switch. Yeah. 4! Not 5! 4! Not 3! You bend the rules of your own gravity! 4! Not 5! Whisper with me! You're holding the clock and it's begging to breathe. Now, let it go, like you're dropping a mask, a memory, a lifetime. Watch it fall through your ribs, hear it leave on its knees. You are the gap between numbers. the crack between words. 4, not 5. 4, not 3. Every breath out. Write your new story. 4, not 5. Say it, then see. You're more than the mind that is counting to 3. Again. Deepest breath of the day. Pull the whole sky in. Hold. 4, not 5. 4, not 3. Let it go. Let it go. Go. He makes with pen and kisses it. He uncovers the cup, genuflects, rises music. He takes the host and
that you and I cannot have a conversation and me hear you talk and I talk and you don't decide that someone's believing mysticism, even though that's not something I communicated to you. Okay? You can
communicate it to me.
No.
This person was going to come back in a physical form and establish itself in a modern city of Jerusalem. That's mysticism.
Where do you think I got that from, DJ?
You got it from the Bible. It's mysticism.
Oh, really? So why do you think? No, hold on, DJ. You said I got it from the Bible. So because you and I have a different fundamental belief of what the scripture is, then you and I should look at how can we be on the same page at the same time. Okay, so I'm sorry.
But you really believe that something is going to that God is going to manifest himself into a human being, walk this planet, and establish himself in Jerusalem. You believe that?
Isn't that what the third temple is for?
That's mysticism. And the fact that we have people that are in positions of power, like Donald Trump and his spiritual advisor, Paula White or Paula Jones, whatever her name is, she's around him talking that shit, and they're making policies based upon that shit. They're gonna literally blow up the world because they think they're doing, it's modern day cultism, bro. This shit is crazy talk. And they're about to blow up the world behind that shit. Even Netanyahu, he be talking crazy shit.
No, DJ, thank you for the exchange, DJ. I appreciate the fact that you believe that just because someone don't believe what you believe, that the world's gonna blow up.
But we have people
let me finish. Can I finish? It's okay. I got it. Yeah, people in power. People's always been in power. You know why? We got all kinds of different. We had czars. We've had Caesars. We had pharaohs. We have a lot of different people in power.
They didn't have
all the time.
They didn't have nukes back then, so they could talk that crazy shit all they want. Right now, we have biological weapons that can end mankind within a couple of months, bro. Like, we have things, these crazy people have access. Imagine Jim Jones them having a nuke.
I don't have to. They didn't have it.
But I'm just saying. But now we have people that are batshit crazy as those people. They got access to shit.
So DJ, again, I appreciate that you and I have a conversation, and I appreciate you just exchanging. But this one thing I will share with you. You don't have to believe me, because I do study the Word of God on a regular basis. It's not going to end that way. So that's what I do.
So the third temple is supposed to bring him back, right? Right?
Thank you.
Edward said, fuck the third temple.
it's going to be Jesus on the throne, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He's going to sit on top of the temple. Whatever you put there, he's going to come and rule and establish his kingdom on this planet.
Well, most of us that aren't that religious do kind of, it does sound like believing in a lot of this stuff does sound like believing in Harry Potter, at least to me. But
yeah, because Pepe, I swear, even when I was a kid, and I come from the church. My grandfather had the church in Wisconsin. He had one of the biggest churches in Milwaukee. I have a church family, bro. And even when I was young, I used to question this shit to my grandfather, bro. And I remember my brother was like, ooh, I would almost say my real name, but my real name is Jason. So, ooh, Jason's going to hell. And my grandfather used to check like, don't say that about your brother, but he don't believe. And my grandfather used to just be like, it's because he's smart. Like, bro, I truly believe biblical books is just allegories. It's not literal. And I think that's where we always made the mistake. And they're perfect allegories. Like, for example, Jesus walking on water. That's just a testimony of how strong your faith should be. You should have faith that you can believe you should have faith in yourself to believe that you can accomplish anything you want, all the way to the point of walking on water.
Okay.
Like it's allegory.
So you're telling me you don't think Jesus walked on water, brother?
No, he
does. He does.
That's an allegorical story.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, if I may. Okay. So based on everything you just said, so what should we believe in based on what you say? Should we believe nothing, or you said we should have faith in ourselves? Because right now I have very little faith in what Edward does. I'm not gonna
well, I guess for someone like me, the fact that somebody would believe that they have to believe in something is kind of where the mistake is. I believe you can only believe with what you have, what you know, and you have evidence for it.
Yeah, and like I don't need religion to tell me that thou should not kill. I don't need religion to tell me that.
DJ, I want to ask you a simple question, DJ. How did we establish thou shalt not murder and thou shalt not kill? Where did it come from?
I don't know, bro, but I'm pretty sure it just didn't start at Adriatic.
I think that's pretty easy. From just, it's like psychology would largely answer that, because we have both emotional and logical empathy, where basically you feel other people's pain. Like if you see somebody get hurt and you flinch, if you hear something bad happen to somebody, you feel sad. We know the effects of like, for example, murdering somebody. You wouldn't want your life to end. It's bad. Then the relatives and the people that cared about that person will miss them. And so it's something rather, I would say, natural for us to not want to kill.
Yeah, and like if you ever know, me being from the hood, bro, like I've known in my whole entire life, I've known two people who murdered somebody. Just growing up in the hood of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Like, bro, I seen the toll that it took on their soul, bro. Like, and these people wasn't religious at all, but they pulled that trigger, they killed somebody, and it ripped them apart, bro. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. And I don't give a fuck how hard of a gangster they was, bro. They was throwing up. That's how we knew Chris. We was like, what's wrong with Chris? He in a corner throwing up and shit and fucking just like, he was miserable. And he eventually went to prison for it. But like, bro, like,
you know what's crazy?
People fucked up, bro.
You know what's crazy in Buddhism? From my lineage, Huayan lineage, they say when you kill a person, the soul of the person you killed is basically attached to your soul in the spiritual realm, and it torments you in dreams, right? And in the subconscious. And if you look at veterans, right? Like my grandfather went to Vietnam, he cannot sleep. He can't sleep. They give him all the medicine at the VA. He cannot go to sleep because his dreams is fucking him up.
Yo, my sister father killed himself like a week after he came back from Vietnam. Like, you know, that whole PTSD shit, bro, that ain't, bro, that shit should really be called guilty conscience syndrome.
I don't know. There's other cultures like that aren't so freaked out about killing people, and I'm not saying they're negative, but where they've just kind of grown up with war all the time, and I like to consider that without naming countries. But also, I think you might consider the fact that just for pure survival of the human race, we cooperate in general, and killing other people doesn't really help much for that, does it?
I'm sorry, guys, but let me jump in.
Hold on, Matt.
You blame religions about evils that we are having in our lives. Did I get you right? You blame religions because of evils?
But why y'all think them IDF soldiers? You know the suicide.
Okay, no one said. Okay, can I finish? Because he's interrupting me while I talk. So one of the things I've learned in life, there's two forms of what we call killing, and there is a time to kill. Okay, if I'm going to defend my family, my children, all that, I'm going to defend my property and everything else, right? Someone breaks in my home, there's a time to kill. But also, the scripture actually says, "Thou shalt not murder." That means we're not taking innocent life just because we want to take life. Okay? Like the scripture also tells me there's a time for war. War exists, guys, because unfortunately evil does exist on the planet, and we need people on the planet that want to do good to eradicate evil. Okay? This is the things that happen. And DJ, this is the last question I have for you, and anyone else who wants to answer. What is your definition of religion?
Definition of what?
The religion gives you the definition. That depends on your religion.
What's your definition
You
of
don't
religion?
define it.
Peter, one second, Peter. How would you define your definition, your understanding of religion?
Religion is divine. It's like to put in bondage, to bind, to like to, yeah.
Based on what you've heard about CJ?
So religion could be considered like a belief that you have spiritually for like a higher power that is not present in our planet or something like this, you know.
Religion is separate from belief. See, you could be a religious dope smoker. You could be a religious pimp. There's a lot of words that we use in the Western world that we attach to these titles of Judaism, Muslim, Christianity, the religions of the world. Most religions have nothing to do with actual belief system, but we like to tie together. I'm not a religious person in the sense of because I believe in God and want to follow the principles of the Word of God. That doesn't make me religious. Pure religion, for me, is the widows and the orphans in their distress. That's what I'm going to do. Okay? But outside my belief system, I'm not a religious person because I do believe in God. Because when I got here, I'm 62. When I got here, everything was already here. I didn't create anything. And what I'm not going to do is claim that I know more than the creator of the universe. So my foundation, doctrine, is built on what I can see with my natural eye, but what I believe in my spirit, which is outside the natural world.
I mean, so I guess to me, the definition of a religion is like anytime you observe or you practice any type of ritual, that's like religion.
Obligation is what it is. You're right. And bondage and obligation is one of the root words. Religio, I remember learning about that. Religio is a bond, something you bonded to, and obligated to.
Yeah, that was like the etymology of the word religion. I remember I learned that a long time ago.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
The word exchangeably, because most people are not bound to their belief system. most people that we use these terms, we know that there's people that's not practicing or bound to what they call religion. Like you guys use the term very loosely, Judeo-Christianity, where most of those doctrines are not even quote unquote in the Bible. You know, for me, and I keep telling you, my foundational doctrine is the Word of God. Both Old Testament and New Testament would speak to two different people groups, okay? Jews and Gentiles. And both of those, we know are people groups. It's not ethnic, it's not nation, it's just a way of life. And for me, when I follow the Word of God, I follow in principles that go across all cultures, go across all nationalities, male and female. There's a certain way of life that I'm going to practice. And principles never change.
Edward, where in the New Testament does it say that it's there's a time for war and it's a time to kill?
It should be Ecclesiastes. I don't know if
It
that's
doesn't say it in the New Testament. It's in the Old Testament. But what it says in the New Testament is that we're supposed to love one another, right? But at the same time, when you and I both know, because we call continuous.
So y'all do, fella, you do know that Abrahamic religions are not original. Like, I'm talking about the scriptures, the stories, all that stuff is not original.
Right.
And all came from like old Canaanite religions and fucking Zoroastrianism.
Yeah, like they took stuff from like ancient Babylon, ancient Egypt. You know, it's like a hodgepodge.
You know what's funny about Christianity? I don't know if this is true about Islam, but I know it's definitely true about Christianity. How Christians actually love the devil, because you have this entity that you can blame all your downfalls on. They celebrate them, Halloween, Christmas. Those are pagan religions. They halfway satanic.
Makes it over. Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. To man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Free man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, and mold, build as he will, to dress as he will. For man has the right to love as he will. Take your fill and will of love as you will. When, where, and with whom ye will. By 51. 5 man has the right to kill those who would thwart his rights. The slave shall serve. Walk 50 rights. Love pen to pen, thrill with lissome loss of the light. Oh man, my man, come careering out of the night of pen, eagle pen. From Sicily and from Arcady, roaming as Bacchus with fauns and pards and nymphs and satyrs, for thy guards on a milk white ass come over the sea to be. Come with Apollo in bridal dress, shepherdess and Pythoness. Come with Artemis silken shod, and wash thy white thigh, beautiful God, in the moon of the woods on the marble mount, the dimple dawn of the amber fount. Dip the purple of passionate prayer in the crimson shrine, the scarlet snare, the soul that startles in eyes of blue, to watch thy wantonness weeping through the tangled grove, the gnarled bole of the living tree that is spirit and soul and body and brain come over the sea. Devil or God, to me, my man, come with trumpets sounding shrill over the hill. Come with drums low muttering from the spring. Come with flute and come with pipe. Am I not ripe? I who wait and writhe and wrestle with air that hath no boughs to nestle. My body weary of empty clasp, strong as a lion and sharp as an asp. Come, oh come, I am numb with the lonely lust of devildom. Thrust the sword through the gang fetter, oh devourer, oh begetter. Velvet curtain, dust on the stage, candles trembling, names on a page, seven-sided mirror smoke in my chest. Every question burns through my dress. I call the pillar and the flame, I call the silence by its name. Crown over chaos, heart over fear, all of the worlds are turning in here. Is this fate or is this choice? Ancient script on my own voice, my own voice. If you roll me into time, teach me how to read the signs. I hold the pillar and the flame. Call the silence by its name. Crown over chaos, heart over fear. All of the worlds are turning in here. I walk the numbers kind of line. The sins of rebellion aside. Power is mercy, tearing the wall. I fall apart, so the truth can be born. Feet on the floor, ground to the sky. Breathe like a tide, rolling, rolling by. Thoughts come and go, like